Hi, in this video, I want to talk about the Sigma FP codec. Last time I showed you Nikon ZR codec, which can record red raw 12-bit all the way down to H264 8-bit. And you can tell that that camera is amazing because it could do all type of codecs, recording using the CF Express Type B. Now this camera, Sigma FP, can do similar to the Nikon ZR, except the RAW is a bit different. It's using cDNG RAW, the old type, but I really like the RAW that comes out of this as well. This is a cDNG 12-bit. You can record it into the hard drive. I think this is why it has its advantage, because it can record directly into the SSD or the NVMe drive. This is a 2 terabyte, this is 1 terabyte. So this is the great advantage of this camera that is able to do that. So I have unlimited recording in high resolution 4K cDNG RAW. So that's why this one may have advantage over a lot of camera, and it's a full frame. So let's talk about it right now. Alright, so let's try our first codec on the Sigma FP. This is cDNG RAW 12-bit 4K. So how does it look? Now the good news about this codec is that this is the best of the best, right? You're talking about cDNG RAW 12-bit 4K. And the advantage of the Sigma FP over my Nikon ZR is that I can record it onto the external hard drive like this one here. I have the 2 terabyte, which is recording right now, and the 1 terabyte. So the good news is that if you have these SSD drive and you have the NVMe SSD drive, you're able to record pretty much indefinitely depending on how much hard drive you have, and then you can then do a fast transfer to your computer or even edit directly because these drive are fast. So that's why Sigma FP still hold its value if you want to record in RAW, cDNG, and you're able to transfer from your camera to your computer through these drives, right? So yeah, so here it is, a 12-bit RAW cDNG 4K. So I'm going to switch over to 10-bit and see what that looked like. Okay, so now this is a 10-bit cDNG RAW 4K. So is there a difference between the 12-bit and this 10-bit? Probably not, unless I do heavy grading, but I just want to do a comparison. This uses less data rate, so yeah, it's gonna be maybe the one I want to use because it's less data, and the color rendition with a bit of grading, it doesn't affect the quality that much. So 10-bit 4K cDNG RAW may be the best codec to use. So let's now switch over to the 8-bit cDNG RAW 4K. Now why would you use 8-bit? Most likely you won't, because if you're going to use cDNG, you might as well have to use at least 10-bit or 12-bit, right? But yeah, let's switch to 8 anyway, just to see, because I do want to compare it to the H265 8-bit 4K and see how that compare, right? So let's do that now. Alright, so now we're doing the 8-bit cDNG RAW using, it's still 4K, so 4K cDNG RAW 8-bit. Normally you wouldn't use 8-bit for cDNG because what's the point, right? You might as well just use H265, but then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe with the 8-bit you can still color grade quite well compared to the H265. We'll have to see. But right now it's recording in 8-bit cDNG 4K. Now I'm going to switch over to 12-bit 1080p cDNG RAW. The advantage of that one is that you can record directly into the SD drive, right? So if you have an SD, you can record that directly for 1080p, of course. Okay, so let's switch over to 12-bit 1080p. Alright, so now this is a 12-bit 1080p cDNG RAW. So the advantage of this format is that you can record directly onto the SD drive. So if you have a fast SD drive, you can put it into your Sigma FP and record 12-bit 1080p. And then you can upscale to 4K using special software like DaVinci Resolve and upload that to YouTube. So I think there's a lot of advantage for this 12-bit cDNG RAW 1080p, because yeah, you can always upscale it to 4K and then save some data, right, when you're recording, and then upscale to 4K and then upload that to YouTube, which I don't think you can see a difference. The good news about the 12-bit is that it's, you know, you can actually color grade heavily and it won't lose that much quality, right? So this is why I like to use RAW. Now I'm going to switch over to 10-bit. I think 10-bit is also pretty good as well. 10-bit cDNG RAW 1080p. Okay, let's do that right now. Alright, so now this is a 10-bit cDNG RAW 1080p. So this is actually pretty good if you want to just record, you know, a vlogging high quality on YouTube, right? And then you can color grade as well. So 10-bit cDNG RAW, and yeah, it's 1080p upscale to 4K. So how does it look? I mean, if I color grade it, I don't think it's going to affect it too much of its quality unless I heavily color grade it. Maybe it will break apart, but cDNG RAW, probably not, even for 10-bit, right? So this might be also a very good format as well. So now I'm going to switch over to 8-bit cDNG RAW at 1080p. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so now this is a 8-bit cDNG RAW 1080p. Now, why would I use that? Most likely I won't be using it, because why would I use 8-bit on a cDNG RAW? Especially I want to use it to color grade. So, but I just want to do a comparison between the 8-bit cDNG RAW 1080p to, let's say, H265 1080p 8-bit, right? Maybe there's advantage there when you're recording the two, right? Maybe there's more flexibility in cDNG RAW 8-bit versus H265 8-bit 1080p. Who knows? This is why I do this comparison, to show maybe there is a difference, maybe not. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over the H265 codec and compare the 4K, the 1080p, right, in 8-bit quality, because I don't think in this Sigma FP it can do 10-bit or a 12-bit. Okay, so let's switch to H265 now. Alright, so now I'm doing the H265 all I, and it's 4K 8-bit. So how does that look? Does it look okay? So we're looking at a H265 very compressed format, 4K all I. Okay, is it better than the GOP? Gulp? I don't know, is that how you pronounce gulp? I don't know. Anyway, the other format for H265 GOP. Okay, so we're going to compare that to this one, all I. But I'm going to go through the 4K and 1080p. Okay, see how that looks, and compare it to Gulp GOP 1080p and 4K. All right, so let's do that right now. I'm going to switch over to all I 1080p, because currently it's 4K. Okay, so remember it's all 8 bits now in H265. Alright, so we're now doing all I 1080p 8-bit H265 format. How does that look? I don't know if there's a difference between GOP versus all I 1080p, but here we have a 1080p all I 8-bit. Okay, so compare that to the next one, which I'm going to switch over to the GOP or Gulp format, 4K and then 1080p. Okay, so let's do that right now. Okay, so now we're doing the 4K 8-bit GOP format. That's H265. Okay, so I mean, this is a very low data rate and high compression. Still, it's a 4K and 8-bit GOP compared to, I don't know what other one it has, but there we go. This is an 8-bit 4K GOP .265, right? H265. Okay, So let's now switch over to the last one, which is 1080p GOP. Alright, so this is the last one. This is the H.265 GOP 8-bit 1080p. So there we go. Is this usable? Most likely. I mean, if I don't color grade that much, I think this is still great. If I color grade it, maybe not. And also depend on if I expose it properly, right? Let's now I can have a lot of data to record, right? So I can have like 1 terabyte of data, record for hours and hours and hours with this format, especially if you're doing YouTube, right? I don't think you need that such a high resolution. With a 1080p, for example, you can always upscale it to 4K and upload that to YouTube, which I don't think most people can tell the difference. Alright, so there we go. So this is the Sigma FP, different codec. I did the same for the Nikon ZR from last week. So you can do the comparison between this camera, Sigma FP, to the Nikon ZR. Both a great camera because they can record raw internally, but it depends on what type of drive you have. If you have the card, the CF Express B, which is very expensive now, but if you do have that, then the Nikon ZR is the way to go, right? But if you have these type of drive and you hook up the USB-C to it, you can have infinite amount of recording, and you can have a very good image because it's recording in cDNG raw. So yeah, that's why I kept both camera, because they have their positives, which I think is really positive for the Sigma, being able to record through using the drive, right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a little heart of appreciation. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.